Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for episode 5 of Citrus, and not sure where to start this out, so yeah, I'll start out with the opening. Just know that this is probably my favorite episode so far, which is why I had to crank up the score from last week a little bit. But starting at the beginning, there's something I forgot to mention in last week's review. When I mentioned it before, I was like, were there these two silver-haired girls in the opening that weren't there before because I don't remember them there before? I did look it up. I don't remember if I mentioned that in episode 4 or episode 5, but I looked it up last week and I forgot to mention it in the review last week, so I'll mention it here. I did look it up, and the first time we saw the opening, they were not in it, but they've been in it since like episode 3, I think. So, not sure who they are, but they kind of stick out, because Citrus has this sort of character design that I really like, where it's still a very anime, but it's not like cartoony. It's not cartoony. They don't have a bunch of wacky, weird hair colors like pink and green and blue and stuff. It's sort of like that anime with a mix of realism. Somebody mentioned that sort of design. Somebody mentioned in Discord that sort of design style where it's kind of a mix between being anime-ish but still being tempered with a little bit of realism. And I like designs like that. I really do. I prefer that. Unless it is something that's really artsy and really good in that sense. I mean, of course, Shumatsu Ryoko had great artistic sense, and the character designs were a little bit more cartoony as part of that. Same goes for a lot of things like Madoka Magica, but I'm getting a little off topic. But the girls with the gray silverish hair kind of stick out and look kind of off, unless it's supposed to be like Yuzu and Mei in some sort of cosplay or something that's going to come into play in some sort of story later on. But either way, I was just thinking they kind of stick out with the way the rest of the series looks. But either way, let's start talking about the actual episode. Himiko and Yuzu's interaction at the beginning had me laughing a bit, and I laughed a lot at this episode. This one was one of, like I said, already my favorite episode, but it was one of the funniest. So Himiko and Yuzu's interaction was great. And then when they both get told by Mei, you two go to lunch together, I don't have time for this, they are looking main character as fuck at that lunch, where you see all these background characters with just like ordinary haircuts, plain black hair, and then you see the fancily dressed and blonde Yuzu with the giant drill-haired Himiko. Harumin shows up. Harumin is great. Harumin is totally the fan insert character, where she says and does things that it feels like she's speaking for the fans when she's like, oh, this is kind of a weird combination, or oh, that was a weird thing to say. And that's the way she's been for the past few episodes, and I think it's one of the reasons I really like the character, is that she's totally like a fan insert character. Yuzu then invites Mei to go meet her dad, and the scene where we have Himiko on the phone, what was up with the dog breathing sound effect? It was really loud. It was like obnoxiously loud, louder than everything else. So I was just confused. I was like, did somebody mess up on this? Why is the sound effect of the dog breathing so loud? But then Yuzu, later on, back at the, I think it was when they were in the subway, she kind of confesses and pisses Mei off. That was again one of the funniest parts to me. I was losing it when Mei was like, I'm not angry, and she's just very, very angry. There's a cute crepe scene then, and then when Himiko catches up to them when they're out on their pseudo date, the funniest thing, I completely lost it, is Himiko has this dramatic scene where she's calling out Yuzu and they're so serious, and Mei is just in the background playing with the dog. So yeah, man, again, lots of funny comedy things and really good background details. So then it hits you, they head to the graveyard, and Mei gets that realization, ah crap, her dad is dead, leading to a great, great scene where Yuzu eventually decides that Mei needs an older sister, not love, and so she vows to be a good older sister. Then Mei ends up getting a fever. It seemed for a little bit there as if she was starting to get feelings for Yuzu, right at the same time that Yuzu was giving up on love for her. So who knows if that may be how this ends up. The roles end up switching where Mei likes Yuzu, but Yuzu's trying to push her away to just be an older sister. Himiko then handles all of Mei's stuff while she gets taken to the nurse's office by Yuzu. And in the nurse's office, it was another really, really good scene where they delve into their feelings a bit more. And then Mei's dad is finally home, and he seems like sort of the character that I'm not going to be that upset with him joining this if he's there every single episode and becomes really involved, which I'm not sure if he's going to be there for long. I think he's going to stop in for a little bit and then probably leave again, and that's going to bother Mei a lot, and she's going to have to deal with him leaving all over again. But I think his letters that she never opened are going to be like about him expressing his love for her and how much he misses her and how he's traveling around the world doing what he has to do and whatnot. But he very much seems like a free spirit, and it's going to be this dichotomy of where he doesn't mean anything bad, and he doesn't, he still very much loves her, but at the same time, him not being there for her has been super painful for her. So it's one of those things where he isn't really meaning to hurt her by going away, but that's the way it's ending up. And I think it'll be good character work for both. He seems so much unlike Mei and the grandfather, where he's just the free spirit that wants to get away from the business side of that school and everything and all the rules and all that. And that's why Mei is sort of filling in for him in that way. So I actually kind of like just the small glimpse we saw of him, but we'll see how things go. I thought, like I said, it was a great episode, my favorite so far, and the best part of the show, the characters drive the show so friggin' much. Yuzu is such a great main character because I find myself cheering for her to succeed so much, and I feel like the biggest reason, she's a really easy character to empathize with. At least I find her that way when watching. Sometimes, especially with romances like this where stuff isn't really working out that well in the beginning, you find yourself like, oh, why are you doing this stupid thing? Just do this, it'll be fine. But I've never really felt that way for Yuzu. I've always been like, it's really easy to understand why she's making the decision she is, and that's one thing that's like annoying in shows sometimes, where characters are making decisions and you're like, why would they make that decision? That doesn't line up with how they've been thinking so far. It doesn't line up with what seems logical to do. But with this, everything Yuzu does seem logical and seems like it follows what she's going through. So she's really easy to understand and empathize with for me. And just for the future, the way things are looking, Yuzu x Mei is looking pretty bright, brighter than the end of last episode, so I'm happy. Let's go for this Yuri sistership. But yeah, favorite episode so far. Because of that, not sure if it quite deserved the 9, but I gave it 8.75 last time, and I think it was better than last week by a good bit. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9. 9 fathers out of 10. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like it, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more. Citrus, Kokoku, much more on the channel, Mitsubishi Colors, tons of things. So yeah, I guess that's it. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. If you want a link to our Discord server, then ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.